Hello and welcome to the Apologists Angle. For today, November 1st, 2024, an AI-generated Christian cultural apologetic perspective on today's news. This podcast is based directly on the writings of the Christian cultural apologists discussed, but like all AI, it can make mistakes. In the news today, internal emails reveal that Harvard University leaders debated how to respond to a 2021 attack by Hamas on Israeli civilians. The emails show administrators weighing whether to condemn Hamas or remain neutral, with some advocating for a statement expressing outrage over the violence, and others urging caution due to the complexity of the situation. Despite the debate, Harvard ultimately issued no public statement, sparking criticism from those who felt the university should have spoken out against the attack. The emails were obtained by the New York Times and shed light on the behind-the-scenes discussion among Harvard's top leaders. Commentary inspired by the writings of C.S. Lewis, The Silence of Complicity, a Moral Quagmire at Harvard. In the aftermath of a brutal attack by Hamas on Israeli civilians, Harvard University found itself mired in a moral conundrum. As revealed by internal emails, the institution's leaders debated whether to condemn the violence or maintain a neutral stance. Ultimately, they chose silence, sparking outrage from those who felt that Harvard had a responsibility to speak out against injustice. This episode serves as a searing indictment of the dangers of complicity through silence. As C.S. Lewis so incisively observed in his book, Christian Reflections, when we fail to take a stand against evil, we risk perpetuating it. The logic is simple. If we condone violence against certain groups simply because they are powerless to stop us, then we open the door to justify violence against any group that lacks the means to resist. In this context, Harvard's decision to remain silent takes on a more ominous tone. By choosing not to condemn Hamas's actions, the university effectively signaled that it would not take a stand against terrorism. This is particularly troubling given the institution's historical commitment to promoting tolerance and understanding. As Lewis noted in Mere Christianity, true moral character is revealed not when we are faced with easy choices, but when we are forced to make difficult decisions that challenge our values. The emails also reveal a more insidious dynamic at play. Some administrators urged caution, citing the complexity of the situation. But as Lewis wryly observed in the Screwtape Letters, it is often in the quiet, well-lit offices of bureaucratic institutions that true evil is conceived and perpetrated. The notion that Harvard's leaders were swayed by concerns about complexity rather than moral principle raises serious questions about the institution's values. Moreover, this episode highlights the perils of a culture that prioritizes neutrality over moral conviction. When we choose to remain silent in the face of injustice, we risk creating a climate where evil can flourish. As Lewis noted, it is not the overtly wicked who pose the greatest threat, but rather those who are content to stand idly by while others suffer. In this sense, Harvard's silence represents a profound failure of moral leadership. By choosing not to take a stand against terrorism, the university has sent a signal that it values expediency over principle. This is a betrayal of the institution's core mission and a dereliction of its responsibility to promote justice and human dignity. Ultimately, the story of Harvard's silence in the face of Hamas's attack serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of complicity through inaction. As Lewis so eloquently put it, true moral character is revealed not when we take the easy road, but when we are willing to stand against evil, even if it means standing alone. By choosing silence over conviction, Harvard has failed to live up to its own ideals and has compromised its integrity. Thank you for listening to today's episode of The Apologists Angle. Be sure to come back tomorrow for a new take on the day's news from the perspective of Christian cultural apologetics.